call to order the Oxford Township Zoning Board of Appeals meeting Monday, July 12th, 2021, 7 o'clock. And let's all stand and pay respects to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Secretary, note the roll, please.
Noted, there is a quorum.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is item 4, approval of the agenda.
So move.
Do we have a second? We have a second? Secretary?
Yes. Magelli? Magley? Yeah. Close.
Yes.
Walters?
Yes.
Butler?
Yes.
Kane, yes.
Thank you. Item 5, approval of the minutes for the regular meeting October 12th, 2020.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the October 12, 2020 meeting minutes.
So moved. Do we have a second?
Support.
Thank you. Secretary?
Butler?
Yes.
Walters?
Yes.
Knopf?
Yes.
Magley?
Yes.
Kane, yes.
Thank you. Item 6, public comments not on the agenda. Do we have any public comments that are not on the agenda tonight? Seeing none, we'll close the public comments at 7:04. Now we're going to get into the regular item of business tonight. Item 7, the first item in regular business, election of the officers. Do we have a motion for chairperson?
I nominate Todd Schultz to continue as chairman.
Second.
Thank you. No. Thank you.
You're getting out of this, no
All
way.
right. Secretary?
Okay.
For vote?
Knopf?
Yes.
Walters?
Yes.
Butler?
Yes.
Magley?
Yes.
Kane, yes.
Thank you. Election of a vice chairman. I'll nominate Jim Butler for vice chairperson for the ZBA.
Second.
Secretary?
Magley?
Yes.
Knopf?
Yes.
Walters?
Yes.
Butler?
Yes.
Kane, yes.
And last is secretary, election of officer.
I nominate Mark Payne for secretary.
I'll second.
We had a full slate for last year. We gotta get out of roll here.
Butler?
Yes.
Knopf?
Yes.
Magley?
Yes.
Walters?
Yes.
Kane, no.
Okay. Next item on the agenda. We have eight tonight. The first one is 21 ZBA 001 AB Monaco. 782 West Bay Shore Drive, PO 421-101-119, Lot 20, West Lake of Waterstone. The applicant is requesting a reduced side yard setback for a driveway of 0 feet rather than the 4 feet required within the single-family residential zoning district. And B, reduced side load garage driveway apron width of 18 feet rather than 25 feet required within a single-family residential zoning district. I guess I'll read all of these.
Yeah.
That's okay.
I believe it's fine to do something.
They're all the same.
They're all the same request, so I think we have to have individual motions for all of them, but I think we can just do them all.
We can do that.
You can read the findings of fact can be read in once,
Okay.
and then
I would suggest that once those findings of fact have been read, that Margie read the letters that have been received as soon as you open the first public hearing, because you're gonna have to open and close 8 public hearings.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
So I don't know if you wanna read the findings of fact first into the record, or it's up to you how you wanna do them. But you don't have to read those 8 times. You have to have 8 motions, but the findings can be read once.
Okay. Why don't I read the addresses on all 8 first, then we'll do the findings of facts for all 8, since they're all the same. And then we'll have a motion individually for each one.
You still have to have a public hearing.
With that, right. Yeah. The second one is 21 ZBA 002 AB, Monaco, 857 Pine Ridge Avenue, Peeble 0421 104 012, Lot 37, West Lake of Waterstone. The applicant is requesting the same as the first item. The third is 21 ZBA 003 AB, Monaco, 696 Pine Ridge Avenue, P0421 105 018, Lot 59, West Lake of Waterstone. Same as the first 2, for the applicant requesting the variance. The fourth is 21 ZBA 004 AB, Monaco, 972 Chelsea Boulevard, P0421 103 004, Lot 67, West Lake of Waterstone. Same as above on the request from the applicant. Item 5, 21 ZBA 005 AB, Monaco, 962 Chelsea Boulevard, P0421 103 005, Lot 68, West Lake of Waterstone. Applicant is requesting the same as above. The sixth one is 21 ZBA 006 AB, Monaco, 940 Woodside Drive, P0421 102 013, Lot 98, West Lake of Waterstone. Applicant is requesting the same as above. Seventh is 21 ZBA 007 AB, Monaco, 901 West Bay Shore Drive, P0421 301 001, Lot 107, West Lake of Waterstone. The applicant is requesting the same as above. The eighth is 21 ZBA 008 AB, Monaco, 931 Woodside Drive, P0421 103 015, Lot 78, West Lake of Waterstone. Applicant is requesting the same as above. Is the applicant present? Thank you. So, during our regular business, the following rules of procedure shall apply to consideration of any item on the ZBA agenda. We're going to first hear your statement from the applicant. We're going to open up public hearing. That's item 2. Item 3, there's going to be comments and questions from the public. And 4, we'll close the public hearing. We'll do these on each one, all 8. Then item 5, we'll have board member questions and comments. And we'll go through the findings of facts. That's item 6. And that's Article 17, Section 17.8 variances, Section C standards. And item 7, we're going to take a motion. In number 8, we're going to have board member discussion and comment. And then finally 9, we're going to go vote. So come on up to the microphone, state your name and your address, and then give us some insight on what you're applying for, and maybe describe some of the hardships that you have to adhere to the zoning ordinance that we have in place.
Thank you for the opportunity. My name is Carl Monaco, 48635 Van Dyke, Shelby Township, Michigan, 48317. The request on the variance comes from an ordinance change that was made in 2017. Prior to that, Westlake of Waterstone was developed in about 2001. It consists of 116 lots, of which all are built except for these final 8. During the course of 20 years, we've been allowed to build all the houses using prior standards, which was driveways were allowed on lot lines, and the building paths could be anywhere from 18 to 20 feet. When they changed the zoning ordinance in 2017, the township either wasn't aware of it or didn't enforce it, because we have since made applications in the meantime, and we're told by the planner at the time that we were quote-unquote grandfathered in. Under the new regime, we were told that a grandfather is not an excuse or the ability to do something against an ordinance. So hence, we're here. Now the hardship is, these are basically 70-foot lots. We've tried to maintain front entrance garages, and in fact, I think we have on every, we've tried to maintain, side entrance garages on every house. We thought that the value increased, and it just called for a more harmonious subdivision. We've been in contact with the association on numerous occasions. In fact, a different builder tried putting in a front entrance garage, and he was met with all kinds of rebuke, and at the time changed it to a side entrance garage. So our goal is still to maintain all side entrance garages. Now, using the new ordinance, if you do the math, 24-foot pad, 4 foot for the driveway being, or 25, plus 4 is 29, 7.5 feet on the opposite side, leaves me no room to build a house, let alone a side entrance. It's just impossible. I've talked to numerous board members about the best way to go about remedying the situation, and hence they mentioned going to the zoning board of appeals. I have aerials that were part of the submission from the attorney's office, which was the Oxford Township attorney, and the aerial shows Westlake predominantly, probably 95% of them are all driveways, 18 foot and on the lot line. So I'm not asking for anything that's not been done 108 times already. In fact, I do have a letter from the township attorney that his statement states, if I may read it, Westlake is a development that was substantially completed when there was no required driveway setback under the ordinance. And then after substantial completion, a requirement was put in place requiring a 4-foot setback for driveways. The reason for the concept of a lawful non-conforming use right is to protect a property owner from the burden of fluctuating zoning ordinance standards. Understandably, a property owner should not be punished for continuing a use of his or her property that has only recently been made volatile by zoning ordinance due to a change in the zoning ordinance. So we've researched it, and based on the township's own attorney, they feel that we have justification for requesting our variance. I don't know how else I could put it if anyone has questions, or will that come later?
That may come later.
Okay.
That's fair.
Hopefully I explained everything to everyone's satisfaction.
Thank you. We'll open it up to comments and questions from the public at this point. Go ahead. step up to the mic, state your name and your address.
So you're opening the public hearing?
Yeah.
They're all one, okay.
Go ahead.
Hello, hi, my name's Diane Stepanovich. I live at address 990 Woodside. And I'm on the board also, member at large, nobody specific. I just have a couple questions as far as, what size is a house? The houses that you want to. Can I address them or do I address you or how's that work? Okay.
You can address us.
I'm making it political, I don't wanna. So I would just like to know actually what sizes are the houses that are being built now, considering that the lot size is smaller. So that would be my first question. And if it's the same size houses that we're building now, it doesn't make sense to me to build the same size house on a smaller lot. Hence, everything is gonna be more difficult. We already are so close together. And we have larger lot sizes than the majority, and especially the lot sizes that he wants to build on. So my question would be, why do we have to make a reduction or a setback for the driveway? Why not just reduce the size of the house? So I guess that's my concern, and we already have issues with that. We've already had people come to us at the board meetings and say that, this wasn't approved, and this driveway is right next to the property line. So we do, and you are correct to saying that, there has been things that have been overgrown as far as driveway space, and it infringes on the neighbor. So I guess I think we're all thinking the same thing, and that why do we have to build the same size house on a smaller lot and then make the driveway even smaller when it's already hard enough to get out of the driveways? And you also have, children. We have a lot of children in the neighborhood, so that is another concern of mine, is that, there's already enough distraction. So, and the house is already butted up right next to each other. So I guess, I think that it would be more logical to downsize the house so you wouldn't have to, reduce the setback of the driveway.
How big is your house? Do you recall?
I think 20,000 square feet, or I'm sorry, 2,000 square feet-ish, yeah.
Okay.
So, and I myself have issues too. I personally always try to back out of my driveway. Okay, and I have a bigger lot than the majority of the people in the neighborhood. And I end up driving on the neighbor's lawn anyways, just so I could go out forward so I don't, have any problems with children or whatnot. So my thing is that, to reduce the setback for the driveway, I think it would be more logical in my mind to just reduce the size of the house. I understand profit is probably of some concern here, but I think, you have to do it, as opposed to the lot size. You can't just say, well, the lot size is smaller. We're gonna build the same size house, but do a reduced setback, and you're gonna be driving on people's lawn. And it's gonna create further problems down the line with neighborly and community also, so.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Can I address the question?
We're gonna take all public comments first, then we'll have you back up. Thank you. Any other comments from the public? Questions? Go ahead, come on up. State your name and your address.
Yes, my name is Raul Ibarra. My address is 790 West Bayshore Drive. So my house is next to one of these lots in question. The first one, letter B, 782 West Bayshore. So I have a concern with the reduction of this setback for the driveway. It is one concern when we are backing up from our garage. We are constantly stepping on the lawn. So if this setback is reduced from 4 feet to 0, in our case that means that we're going to have the property right next to there. I don't know if there's going to be a driveway next to our driveway, or worst case is that there's a wall right there. So that's going to make it even more difficult from us. In our case, our next neighbors, we have this 4 feet division from the driveway, And we have enough space when we lawn, when we cut our lawn and that type. We're gonna have no space if this is reduced from 4 feet to 0. That's just what I wanted to mention.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments from the public, questions? Come on up, state your name and address.
Gilberto Cruz. I live at 781 West Bay Shore. I'm right across from one of the properties in question. And I concur with all the statements made by my colleagues that live in the same area. And we have those issues. My concern is the safety. We have a lot of children in our neighborhood. And yes, even now, with kids driving around in golf carts and mopeds and everything else, to have a larger home there and trying to cram it in there and then be concerned, my concern is in the development as to where they're gonna put the driveway, either on the left or on the right. Either way, the obstruction of the trees and everything else when you pull out, we're endangering our children. So my concern is, okay, I concur, build a smaller home. Or develop some way that you can have the clearance of sight for seeing oncoming traffic. And also respecting your neighbor's property and not driving over their grass. And by the same token, I don't think you can build a house next to you. You might as well just go ahead and open up the window and ask for a cup of sugar. That's the end of my comments. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Come on up. Please state your name, address.
Yeah, Victor Farguson, and I'm at 930 Woodside Drive, and the house that's being considered in this case is 940, which is just to the north of me. And I guess I got a concern about the driveway is actually being raised like 12 to 18 inches. And I've got some very dampness on the north side of my house. And right now, I've had to set the sprinklers down to 1 minute, which is very, very low for the sprinklers, especially with the rain and all that. And the downspout that I have coming out from the side of my house, I got 5 feet to the lot line. And right now, I got just a downspout for 5 feet. Before they put the black in there, the fence, I had about a 10-foot to just get the water away from just to get the water away. And my concern is too that, especially in the wintertime, when the snow off the driveway is going to be in that low area, it's going to be even more damp. So that's one of my big concerns. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Come on. State your name and address, please.
Good evening. Mark Lundquist, 705 Pine Ridge Avenue. I am the Vice President of the HOA here representing the board. And I'd just like to read from our declaration, Article 7, Section D. Building lines. No structure shall be placed, erected, installed, or located on any lot nearer to the front, side, or rear lot line as permitted by the ordinance of the township in effect at the time of installation of such structure. If permitted by the township ordinance and approved by the Architectural Control Committee, setbacks of less than those established in the preceding sentence will be permitted if the grade, soil, and other physical conditions pertaining to the lot justify such a variance. To my knowledge, there was no request made to the ACC committee about this variance. So we'd like to at least have an opportunity to review it from the ACC's perspective.
For the board members, can you explain what ACC is?
I'm sorry, ACC, it's the Agricultural Control Committee.
Agricultural Control Committee.
Architectural.
Architectural, pardon.
Architectural Control Committee. Any other comments from the public, questions? 7:27. I'm going to close the public hearing. Board member.
I think we're supposed to, I'm sorry, I think I'm supposed to read
Oh,
into the
yeah.
minutes,
Yeah.
letters.
Do you have the letters?
I do,
You do? Okay.
I do.
All right, so we have, how many letters? Here? One,
Uh,
2, 3. 3 different letters from homeowners
Yeah,
in
four,
the.
I have 4,
4? Okay.
or maybe it's 3.
And Margie will read those letters that were addressed to our board from the residents of Westlake.
Regarding, this is addressed to the zoning board of, Oxford Township Zoning Board of Appeals regarding opposition to zoning request, petition number 21, ZBA 3696 Pine Ridge Avenue, P0421105018. Dear board members, I am the property owner and resident at 704 Pine Ridge Avenue, which is immediately south of 696 Pine Ridge Avenue, for which zoning variances are being requested. Unfortunately, I am unable to attend this meeting in person due to a prior engagement. But please accept these written comments as my opposition to the board granting the requested variances with petition number referenced above. I recently visited the township to review the plot plan to determine how these variances may affect myself and my neighbors. Unfortunately, I was informed that no plan has been filed with the petition for the variances. Without any plans, it is difficult to assess the proposed variances' true impact and how they will affect the neighboring owners' use and enjoyment of their own property. I'm concerned that a property within the proposed variances may not visually conform with the neighboring homes, causing it to be less aesthetically pleasing and ultimately negatively impacting the surrounding property values. Aside from aesthetic issues, the variances would cause there are serious functionally concerns. Are serious functionally concerns. In terms of functionality, we have approximately 25 feet of apron width for our side load garage, and it is not always an easy task maneuvering vehicles into and out of the garage. With only 18 foot as requested, I believe it would be next to impossible to use the garage for its intended purpose as storing non-commercial motor vehicles without disrupting the adjacent lawn when moving vehicles in or out. And the inevitable outcome of this, when combined with the zero setback variance that is also requested, is that when someone enters or exits the garage, they will be forced to drive their vehicle on the neighboring property's lawn. Further, I feel that a zero setback property drainage may be impacted. This would negatively affect surrounding properties and possibly cause unforeseen costs and home damage. While I certainly understand Mr. Monaco's desire to capitalize on the current demand and short supply of homes in our area, the carefully created zoning ordinances keep our neighborhood a desirable and safe place to live, and have these variances requests approved would be to the detriment of the current residents of our beautiful community. Respectfully, James, Taegel.
Hagel?
Next one. This is an email. It says, good afternoon. My name is Bruce Williams. I live at 741 Bay Shore Drive. Up until recently, I was the vice president of our HOA association. We have dealt with Carl Monaco for years. Unfortunately, his company does not adhere to the rules and regulations. I disagree with making special provisions. Once again, I would ask the zoning commission to stick to its original plans. Respectfully, Bruce Williams, Jr. This one is dated July 6th, and it's addressed to Todd Walters. We as homeowners at 930 Woodside Drive vote no to what the builder wants to do with 940 Woodside Drive. Victor and Sandra Variation. I guess that's it. They're here.
Okay.
Ferguson.
Ferguson, okay. Okay, that's it.
Thank you. Item 5 on the procedure, meeting procedure, board member questions, comments.
Curiosity was the young lady over there about reducing the house size. I know sometimes engineering wise, it's kind of rough to downsize, but would it be, could they make the house aesthetically match the rest of the neighborhood, so everything is consistent? Is, I guess. Is that directed?
Carl, can you come back up and,
I got some kind of curiosity.
Well, your curiosity is brilliant.
Norris is asking about, no, not only house size, but can you make it aesthetically pleasing?
Okay,
within the-
first of all, there's minimum requirements. You have the bylaws on your phone, sir?
I can hold them up.
See if you can tell me the minimum size requirement, because in the bylaws, there are minimum square
I'm not
footage
gonna-
requirements.
I'm not gonna read through the whole thing here today.
Okay. Anyways, I
But
think,
there is a ranch house built in there.
oh yeah. I think it's 1,800 minimum on a ranch, and maybe 2,200 on a colonial. And the point is, I would not be able to make that work for the size lots. And let me give you the map. Most of the remaining lots, and probably all of the lots in that subdivision, are in the 70 to 75 foot range. That's the maximum width in the whole subdivision. Okay, but the remaining lots are now 70 foot wide. If I use your setbacks under your current ordinance of 25 feet for a driveway, 4 feet for driveway being away from the lot line, 7.5 feet on the other side, I have setbacks of 36.5 feet. That leaves me 33.5 feet to build a house. Now to get a side entrance garage, the garage itself will be 20 feet wide. Most garages are 20. That's what you need on the depth of a garage to get a car in. So basically, you're leaving me 13.5 feet to build a house. Physically impossible. I can't even get a door and a window on the front elevation. So what does that leave me with? Well, you say, well, go smaller. I'm restricted. I can't go smaller. You say, well, go deeper. I can't go deeper. I have a 35 or a 45 foot rear yard setback and a 25 foot front yard setback. So my building envelope is about as tight as you can get. And when someone mentioned conformity, every house in there is conformed. They're all the same. I've been building the same house for 20 years. I had a 2,800 square foot colonial and a 2,800 square foot split. Those are the only two houses I've been building there myself. Now, there are other buildings that I can't speak for, but I've been building the same 2,800 square foot house since 2001. I just have two plans that I've been building. One's a split level and one's a colonial. I haven't built any ranches in your subdivision, but I'm assuming the other builder has, because I do see a few ranches in there. Again, you talk about the hardship. It's physically impossible to do what the zoning ordinance requests. And then I heard one of the letters said, we want Mr. Monaco to stick to his original plans. That's exactly what I'm asking for, sticking to my original plans. When I started the subdivision, I wasn't bound by driveways being off the lot line, and no one had a requirement for the size of a pad. I heard the safety issue. I don't get it. You drive your car. What I do on my house is I build a pad behind the driveway, so you can back your car. I mean, if you're worried about reversing all the way out of a driveway, I understand that could be a safety issue. But what I do is I build a pad behind my driveway so that anyone will have plenty of room, even on 18 feet, to turn their car enough to back onto my pad and to reverse forward out of their driveway, whereby they got clean sight lines, they can see exactly where they're going, and they don't have to back out of their driveway. Another thing I do on my houses, if we're worried about the drainage issue, I put a curb on my driveways. So if I have an issue where I don't have any room to put a swale and to drain the water, I will put a curb there, because there is ordinances on drainage.
I heard a gentleman say he's got 5 feet on his lot line. I'm gonna have to dispute that. The minimum requirement is 7.5 feet. If he's got 5, somebody violated an ordinance that he's not even aware of. But I know I didn't build that house. So, what I'm trying to say is, there is ordinances that say my water can't drain on the next person's property. If I build my driveway on that lot line, it only stands to reason that my water is gonna drain on his property. We won't be allowed to do that. So I put a curb on my driveway where my water from my garage door will drain to the end of the driveway, catch the curb, and drain forward out to the street. That's what I do on mine, so that I don't have the issue of some next door neighbor saying, your driveway water is draining on my property, creating an undue hardship, which I agree.
You built our house.
That I guarantee you it's 7.5 feet off the line.
No, I measured it, it's 5 feet.
Well, somebody made a mistake, I'm telling you.
I just measured it.
Are you sure?
Yes, I just measured it.
I have to take your plot plan and look at it.
You can stop by the house and measure it yourself.
Well, you don't have a pin there, do you? How do you know where the lot line is?
I have a pin out in front, yes, the surveyors put a pin,
Did they?
yes.
I'd be very curious to see it, but neither that here nor there. The goal is to achieve safety, which I agree with, conformity, which I agree with, and not allowing water to drain. Because if I was one of these people, my biggest argument would be, I don't want that water draining on my property. I would agree with that. And that's not what our goal is. If I got enough room on a house that I designed to leave 2, 3, or 4 feet between the driveway and the lot line, I'm gonna do it, because now I got enough room to put the swale and to run the water like all water should, you know, not go on the property of the next door neighbor. So that's my goal. If I can shrink the width of the house a little bit to achieve that, I'll do it. But there's no way we can conform to 25, 4, and 7.5, leaving me 13.5 feet.
Can you go over that math again for our board members?
Okay.
please?
You got a 70-foot lot. You want me to give you a driveway pad of 25 and keep the driveway off the lot line by 4 feet. So technically, on the driveway side, my house has to be 29 feet off the lot line. Understand?
Yep.
Now, on the complete opposite side, the non-driveway, the requirement is 7.5 feet. So you subtract all those from 70 feet, that leaves me 33.5 feet of width for a house to fit with those parameters.
You mentioned 13 feet, that's
Well-
why I wanted you to go through the math.
Well, if you look at a side entrance garage house, you're looking at a garage of 20 feet of width. The rest is house. So take the garage out of that 33.5 feet, that leaves me 13.5 feet of house. So I had to fit a front door, I wouldn't be able to fit a window. So basically, of the 33.5 feet, 20 is my garage. So in 13.5 feet. So if you want non-conformity, this is what's gonna happen. If I get voted down, the only way I can make it work is front entrance garages. I can keep those 4 feet off the lot line, no problem. Now I got 33 feet of driveway going up to a front entrance garage.
Yeah, and Mr. Monaco, you did mention that you would be able to shrink the size of the house just then. And my board member asked if you can make that house in a shrunken or reduced square footage aesthetically pleasing with the neighborhood today.
No,
The answer is no.
absolutely not. Not under those restrictions. Absolutely not.
Okay.
I have a question.
Can I
Go
ask?
ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, 70 feet minimum width. I'm looking at the plat here, and I'm assuming there's a few of these you had built already under the old zoning ordinance.
Yes.
With side yard setback in the 25 feet, right?
No, none, not one. Not,
On a 70 foot?
pardon?
Are they all
18?
No, none of mine are 18. My house fits, I have 20, I won't build 18.
No, mine are 18.
Who built your house?
You did.
I doubt it's 18.
Yeah, no, I know for sure because I just
There might,
made it bigger because of this issue. okay, with patio bricks. So we didn't
Okay.
keep running over the neighbor's sprinklers.
So your driveway is not on your lot line then?
I'm sorry?
Your pad is not on your lot line? You
It
said-
is on it,
You
yes.
said you made it bigger.
I made it bigger, but we have the easement there. So there is 18, I don't even think it's 18 feet actually. No, yeah, because we went to 20.
Okay.
So
Right,
if
so-
they're doing that math, 70, if it's 20, let's call it 20. Side yard setback at the time was 10, so it's 30. So it'd be 40 feet, right, per house.
Side yard setback at,
Well, at the time, the old ordinance was 10, side yard.
now, I think Westlake Waterstone was under a PUD, it had 7.5 feet per side yard minimum. Total of 15.
Wasn't our letter from our attorney tax on 10-foot side yards.
Yeah.
That was, when we changed the ordinance changed two things. From what I understand, it went from a 10-foot setback to a 7.5-foot setback. And then there was the 4-foot requirement for a setback from the driveway.
For the driveway.
I'm just trying to figure out, if you had a 70-foot lot previously and you're able to build it, and I understand, the setback now has changed, it's 2.5 feet less
On the one side?
on the side,
One side.
right?
Right.
Okay.
And then the 4 feet, obviously creates an issue. But if you have 7-foot wide lot, a 10-foot setback, that's 60, 20-foot driveway, that's 40, right? And you're now, with our requirements of 25.4, you're right, you're 33.5
Right,
versus 40.
right.
Am I able to ask him a question?
Yeah, right now, we
Okay.
closed the public comment
Okay, all right,
for right now.
okay, thank you.
And did I read it correctly? It was 18 was the minimum within what our attorney had said? So I'm trying to figure out what the rules were at the time.
Carl, I had a question for you. In terms of the change in the zoning ordinance, were you made aware?
No, absolutely not. No. And that's my biggest objection. We're the biggest builders in Oxford. You think if your zone planner would have had any idea of asking for input from a builder?
And when did you find out about this ordinance change? Because it's been quite a number of years since we
Yeah.
changed it.
Like I said, we've been submitting applications through the last 4 years,
Yeah,
and we've been getting approved.
okay.
Now, the other builder, Alan King, just applied for 2. And that's when it came to light that they were no longer grandfathering any further houses, where thereby forcing us to either stop building or ask for the zoning board of appeals variance. And again, you ask for value. If we have to shrink the houses, I'm the first one to tell you, your value is going down.
I know, but you're building a whole subdivision over right by us, which is gonna cause our values to go up because they're almost twice as much as our houses there now. So, I mean,
I have a question,
Okay.
Mr. Monaco, since it's our turn.
Yeah, it is.
Do you know approximately how many houses have been built since the ordinance changed in 2017?
Good question. I don't want to guess. I've been building about 5 or 6 a year. So me personally, if you got to, I don't know when the ordinance, what part of 2017 it came into effect, but let's say it came at the end of the year. So 18, 19, 20, just use those 3 years times 5, 15 maybe. And I know the other builders probably built 7 or 8. So there could be a total of 20 that have been grandfathered in after the ordinance was enacted.
And was that someone on the township staff that told you it was grandfathered, do you remember?
Yes, I'll tell you every name.
Well, I don't need to know names, I just,
It was the supervisor at the time, and it was the planner at the time. See, I'm looking at your attorney's letter, and he is saying Waterstone is a planned development referred to as a central area plan. So I'm assuming it's got special zoning ordinance. And it does say that the township has authority to approve conditions not in conformity with the requirements of the township zoning ordinance. So you're basically saying you have authority to do. Does everybody have that letter?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
We do, but if you look at the bottom of that footnote, it also says that the developer of Waterstone sold off separate tracts of lands or pods within the Waterstone development to various developers.
Yeah, the overall development was a PUD. The overall Waterstone development. was
Right,
PUD.
but was Westlake part of one of those pods? Or was it part of the PUD?
It was a pod of the PUD.
Yeah, there's 9 different subdivisions that make up Waterstone.
Very good.
The setbacks and pods were not regulated by the PUD, is what it's saying.
Right, they were zoned, the underlying zoning was at the time.
Right.
And I think one of his notes also says 93% of the lots have been dealt under the prior zoning ordinance with 0 setbacks. So you got 93% of the lots that meet the condition that I'm asking for.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but there's, I saw stakes on one of the lots. Are the other lots sold? Are they developed? Are there plans for these other lots, the other 7 lots?
I can't speak for the ones I don't own. Of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 requests, I own 5 of them. Okay, so on my 5, I have no plans for anything. I'm waiting for this action to decide on what I'm going to do in the future. I can't really, I'm on stalemate until I get a determination from the board.
But you can't go smaller because of their association
Well,
requires
they're,
X amount of feet?
well, it's not their association, it's actually the bylaws of the development, which was produced by us. And I wish I had the numbers in front of me, but I don't know if I can meet the requirement of the bylaws. So now, if I deviate from those, I do agree with you, I have to go back in front of the architectural committee to get approval. But as the declarant, if you read the bylaws really well, I'm the declarant, and I still have powers that.
But you appoint people to be on the ACC committee for a reason.
Right, right. But I do have the ability to make any changes to the bylaws. Don't want to do it because, again, I'm more into conformity than I am.
We appreciate that.
Yeah, and we had a plan that looked like a water plan for 940 Woodside Drive, which is, I guess, 013 or lot 98,
That's not mine.
right?
Right.
So of the 8, it looks like one of them's staked, ready to go.
I
And they're-
think 2 of them are.
Okay.
And that's
Do
how
you know
it's,
which 2 are?
probably 98 is one of them.
Well, yeah, that's what I seen out there.
Right. Those are the 2 that brought this whole issue to light. The other builder submitted his application to the building department and was told they're no longer conforming and they're no longer grandfathered. So I don't know what he has in mind on those 2 particular lots. And there's a 3rd lot that Clearview just bought. It was bought by a private homeowner, private homeowner sold it to Clearview. They're not aware of the zoning ordinances. I offered to represent them, and I do have a letter in the file that says I can represent them, but they also have 1 lot. They would be 931 Woodside Drive. Now, just, Mr. Walter, to show you how bad that ordinance is, my next step is to fight it. Because on my beautiful development, if you've ever been back there to see the new 68 lots going in, those are 90-foot lots. Okay? Using your same ordinance as we have right now,
with a 90-foot lot, using those setbacks of 29 on the one side and the 7.5 on the other, leaves me, what did I say, 36.5 feet? Plus 20, that's 56.5, because these are 90-foot lots. I still can't fit. You need a certain dimension to be able to put a side entrance garage, a dining room window, a front door, and a study window. The elevation to get all three of those in needs a certain amount of width. And even on a 90-foot lot, I can't meet your ordinance. Can't do it. So, again, I have to shrink the house, which that's feasible in the 90 feet. But what it eliminates is a tighter house, because then you're gonna see all garage, you're gonna have less house, a door and one window. I don't wanna complicate it too much, but I sat down with the assessor here, and she said that ordinance needs to be changed because the value of those houses will be so much less than the value of a house that you can put 2 front windows as opposed to 1. So my next step after this is to discuss with the planner what the next plan of action is to correct, because
Yeah.
29 feet is
So
just,
you've told us before that you can shrink the house to fit the ordinance. Then you just said that you are unable to shrink the house
no.
to fit the ordinance. So I'm getting a little bit confused here. And then why don't we just do this, right? Why don't we say, what's the minimum width that you feel comfortable putting a house on any one of these properties?
I think my Colonial has a width of 46 feet.
And so what lot width do you need to build a house?
To meet your zoning ordinance,
No,
my 70 foot, my 70 works.
just put your house right in a parcel, right there. What do you need? What's your minimum width, what you mentioned, just regardless of the lot lines, what do you need? What's the minimum size?
Well, how much?
From the house to, the corner, edges, what's the width that you need? So, I mean, you built 108 of these, right? So what's the
Are you
minimum width?
including my driveway in the width?
You can add that.
Okay,
Let's say
and
the house, and then say with the driveway.
what size driveway are you
What's
gonna get?
reasonable, right?
18 feet?
Whatever you.
Okay, my lot size of 70 feet works. I'm comfortable with it.
Okay, 7 feet.
70 feet works for an
These
18-foot
lots
driveway.
that are on the table for our board to vote on tonight, 75, 75, like 73, right? That looks like the smallest width, and that's, 012. Here's one here that's 91.
That's lot 107.
Well, it says 004 on this.
Is it on West Bay Shore?
It's actually a Chelsea, Chelsea, that's a packet, I'm sorry.
You gotta go by the building
42
now.
and 27, right, so. 005 is at 78, over 78 feet. And we keep talking about 70 feet width, but you're looking at these 8 items, there's no 70-foot width. Right?
I honestly gotta say, my 5 remaining lots,
So you don't have a minimum width of your house, and then if you add, like you said, 18 feet for a
40
driveway.
46 feet is the minimum width of my house.
46.
46.
Okay. It's the smallest size that you can make that's aesthetically pleasing.
Exactly. Exactly. And my split level, which has a master bedroom on the first floor, is 52 feet wide. So
So 48 feet plus 18, you're saying, is the minimum that you would shrink the house? I'm just trying to get a feel here, Carl, right? Mr. Monaco.
I understand, but I'm trying to understand. See, I have to,
Because that's 66 feet, right? 48 for your house, and
Right.
18.
right?
Plus that side yard setback.
Then you have the side yard setback.
So then
on
we
the
can
side.
work on the side yard
75.
setbacks, right?
Well, you got another 7.5 feet on the other side.
Sure.
73.5.
Sure.
So,
So
again.
we're trying to do the math up here too, right?
Right.
We're trying to do the best, not only for yourself, but also the residents that live there every day, right?
Right.
So
See,
That's the minimum 48, because you're talking shrinking, you can still make it aesthetically pleasing, if you, then you can't. So 66 feet is, 48 feet for the driveway.
and then 7.5 on the
And
other
then we'll
side.
work on the setbacks.
Oh, okay, I got you. Okay. So,
I'm trying to make, some sort of logic out of this too, right?
see, again, I prefer not to put my driveway on the lot line if I don't have to. So if I got 73 feet on those lots that you're saying, that leaves me an extra 3 feet to keep my driveway off the lot line. I'm loving that. But I think some of mine are 70 feet. Lot 67 and 68, we're actually in a parcel split for those, which is gonna reduce one of them to 70.75, and the other one's gonna be 70, because of an encroachment on an existing house. So I know I'm left with at least 2 and probably 5 lots that are minimum 70 feet wide.
Sure. But we want to take these case by case, right?
Okay.
And when you're looking at the minimum house and driveway and the setbacks, there is, maybe a consideration for a lesser variance, right? Because right now, we don't have any plans for any other development in that sub per lot. We just have this one that's, it looks like a sworn survey.
No, this was the
Tentative
one, this
survey,
spot
right?
one, spot one.
Okay.
So you should have 2 of them, and they're not
This
mine.
is the one we have.
That's,
This is just,
It's 98.
Yeah.
see, that's not mine. What is he using for a driveway? What is he using for setbacks?
7.5 and 20.
You got a driveway 20 feet?
Yeah, 20.2.
20.2.
See, that's a beautiful condition. He's got a 20-foot pad, and he's got 7.5 feet on the other side. That's the exact thing we're asking for.
And it's 47 for the house.
The house is 47.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, mine is 46, so I would even have an extra foot to work with.
It's 46 now, it's not 48?
I have 46-foot colonial, and I think it's a 50-foot story and a half.
Okay.
So I had 2 different plans that I built.
Where'd the 48 come from?
I might have said 48, but my,
Okay. I
it's,
just wanted to be clear.
I don't have my plans in front of me,
That's
so
fine.
I really can't.
We're just trying to,
It's 46, and that would be 71.
yeah, 71.
Yeah, this is 6. 71.5 would be the one with an 18-foot wide drive to 7.
Yeah, 64 plus 7.5.
Yeah. So in here we have to have additional greenbelt along, but we need to look at every single of that.
Yeah.
Looks like Chelsea is even right around 70. I mean, from what I can see on the. Yeah, what is that? I have here to reading. Yeah, it's a.
That's the back yard, yeah. Right there, 78, 7. What is this?
That, I think that's the
That's
stuff.
small.
Yeah.
But it's also applied.
Yeah.
It's going to be,
Yeah.
so that's probably what you're I'll keep moving around, you keep
We're
reading.
trying to find what. With Sergeant. 73.
So what if we do this? What if we go through all of them on the agenda page and write down what the frontage is?
Okay.
So that we can
Okay.
decide
Is
on
there
each one
any
individually.
consideration that you would make to maybe move the house? Say we had a non-rectangular lot, right? Like there's one here that's more of a pie. Is there any consideration that you would make to move the house further back to meet the ordinances that are?
Well, I don't think we can ever meet the 29 feet on the one side, but yeah, I mean, the further back I push it, now, again, I don't have the zoning ordinance in my head,
But I think the rear yard, does anyone know what the rear yard setback is right now?
Yeah, 25.
25?
Yeah.
Yes, you know, some people like a bigger backyard though, so by pushing the house back, I'm not in conformance with the two houses on either side, so it's really gonna look strange. And then I'm shrinking somebody's backyard that probably would pay dearly to have. So to answer your question, yes, it's possible. B, is it practical? The answer probably is no. But
You want to keep them in the same sight line.
yeah, pretty much. I mean, you talked about handing a cup of sugar, but if that person is pushed back and now their bedroom window is next to your kitchen window, I mean, yeah, you can hand them a cup of sugar.
My kitchen window was in my neighbor's bathroom.
So that's how it would stay.
Okay. Thank you, Carl. We'll call you. Is there any other questions? We're gonna go through some math here, and then we may call you back. Thank you. So at 982 West, that's,
We'll go 70,
119,
Yeah. it is.
73.5.
Okay.
Hi, Rich.
012,
1, 2.
looks like 73.00.
18.
73.87.
4. Oh.
Do you need me to go grab the plat book out of the office?
Yeah, we're missing a width.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're,
your widths on 67 and 68 are not gonna be accurate.
66 and
67 and 68.
Okay. That's all one four. And total five.
What is that?
You don't know it yet, but the house next door is approaching 10 feet into lot number 68. It's been like that for about 10 years. So we are applying for a split where we're taking 10 feet from lot 67 and 68 and giving it to lot 69, which needs it because their driveway's on it. So those two lots are being shrunk by 10 feet, not 10 on one, 5 on one and 5 on the other. So those lots are being diminished by 5 extra feet, just so you know.
It's not done yet. It's not done yet, the homeowner did not sign that paperwork.
No, they did.
You have an email right here that says you did.
I said she did not.
Okay.
I gave it.
Right.
It's in her best interest, otherwise she gets a
I agree, I
drive.
agree, I agree.
Hey, one will come up here.
She's on the board too, right?
Yeah, she's the secretary.
Very nice.
We're getting enough reservation. You need something to.
there any other questions from the board or any comments?
Well, if, taking the statement that the house, the minimum, smallest house is 46 feet. Doing our math, we've come up with 71 feet, 71 and a half feet would be the minimum lot width. You could put into an 18-foot wide drive, 7.5-foot wide setback. That would be the narrowest. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to comply with that. This with the proration is going to happen on these two lots, I don't know. I'd like to know that before I made a decision, because you may have to come back. I mean, but you take these two, you add them together, you got roughly 150. If it's prorated, it ends up being 75.
Yeah, 04 and 05.
Right. So there are, you know, of the 8-6 lots, throwing the other two out, the ones that are being reprorated, you can make all those work with a 46 lot. And you would have some areas you have a foot or two, other areas you have 3 feet for green belt between the permits.
But you still need a variance.
But it's a lesser variance, right? Right.
I have a quick question. May I ask a question?
Not right now.
Oh, I thought you would
But
ask.
I'm thinking I'll
Okay.
open it for public backup.
Okay, sorry about that.
Mr. Butler, can you explain that back? Because it stopped working.
Well, I'm saying, you told us the smallest house you can build is 46 feet wide.
Okay,
46 feet?
Right.
Plus 18?
that's your driveway.
Right.
Okay.
7.5. That's 71.5 of it.
46 plus 18 is 64.
And 7.5,
7.5.
71.5.
Right, but you're saying the driveway would be on the lot line?
Well, I'm just saying that's the narrowest point.
minimum.
Now, some of your lots are bigger.
Right,
We just kind of went through it, and except for the two that are getting adjusted.
right,
Okay, the smallest one that's there is 73 feet.
okay.
There's one at 75, one at 73.4, one at 75, another one at 90, you think? So if that's the minimum, you could have some green belt
100%.
and above and beyond anything 71 and a half.
100%, and that's what we want. We want to be able to put a green belt.
The only concern I have is those two lots, 005 and 04.
Yeah, we may have
Knowing-
to.
knowing what those are.
Until that split is done, I don't see how we can.
So with that being said, would you consider taking the 04 and 05, tabling those two lots until that the lots are changed to what you had mentioned earlier? And we would be requesting a motion on
I know
six of
one of them
eight.
is 71.5 feet. Lot 68 is 71.25 feet. That's the new lot width of that lot.
68.
8. And 67 is 71 feet.
You can't build that 1.5 foot issue. That is a half foot, and that is
So
3 inches.
When those,
Yeah, but that's okay.
But it's, that change in the lot lines is not approved or any of that, we just want to make that clear.
No, but we're waiting, like you said, the application has to be signed by the resident
Sure.
next door. And then, but
And those numbers you gave us may or may not be approved.
Correct.
So, correct. So with that being in limbo, right, it's up to you. I mean, we could table those to a later date.
we'll have to go through a public hearing and all that all over again?
Yes.
Yeah.
And all you're concerned about is waiting to see if it gets approved or
Well,
straightened out?
either way, we can ask for a motion tonight, or since we know that those are, you mentioned that their lot lines will be changing, I mean, we could We can do it again later.
Yeah, I mean,
Either way.
Mr. Black, my concern is that 46 foot is the magic number. These two, if those are the dimensions, it doesn't work.
Well, I know on lot 68, a ranch is being built. And it will work on the new adjusted size based on the previous zoning ordinance. That I know it will work.
I kind of like to see it, but that's just my preference.
Yeah, I agree. If you want to table those two, we'll go through it all over.
I don't mean to cause any problem, I'm uncomfortable not having this stuff in front of me, that's all.
And you're right, maybe it doesn't get approved. But if it
Something
doesn't,
happens, right?
Variables involved.
agreed. All right, so if you want to pull those two out, and we'll address those when it gets approved, I'm fine with it.
We'll consider that, sure.
Is there any other comments or questions from the board?
Does everybody understand what we're kind of going towards? Got it?
I'm gonna move off of the, I go back to item 4, or excuse me, 3. Seeing some additional comments and questions from the public. Let's open that up right now. Let's hear your voices.
Please come up with it.
Come up with it.
I just basically have a question, is this gonna be a 3-car garage or a 2-car garage?
3-car.
Okay. So I didn't know if that, would that make anything better? Making it maybe into a 2-car garage?
That it doesn't change the width at all.
No, okay. That was only the only question I had. And as far as, what about utilities? Would that impinge on the utilities that are run underground by the sidewalk?
No.
No? Okay. That's it. Thank you. Oh, and my name's Diane.
Thank
Forgot
you,
to do that
Diane.
one. Sorry. I'm trying to follow the
Is
rules.
there any other? Come on up. Again, state your name, address, please.
Gilberto Cruz, 781 West Bay Shore. And I'm looking, I think it's the one we're in discussion is 782. And the lot width is 73.45. So he can build a house on that without any issue, just allowing 1 foot on both sides. And he should be able to build a house just like all the others on the same side.
Correct.
So without all this,
He still needs a variance, because the rules have changed.
Okay.
So he still needs a variance.
All right.
What we're just trying to do is get the minimum.
I'm
So
just-
we
I'm
understood
just going-
how does this thing fit on his property?
Okay.
And how can we achieve what's fairness for him and obviously fairness to you folks?
Okay.
That's the situation.
All right.
It is very difficult.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah.
I checked with the assessor. That last lot you were trying to figure out is 90.
Okay,
Okay, thank you.
thank you, that helps.
Any other comments? 8:21, I'm going to close the public questions or comments. Item 6 on the meeting procedures, findings of facts in accordance with Article 17, Section 17.8, variances, C standards. So, findings of fact. Board of Appeals shall make a finding of fact based upon competent evidence that the requirements of Section 17.8, subsection C 1 through 5, have been met. Article 27, Section 17.8C. In Section 17.8, subsection C1, item 1, strict compliance with restrictions governing area, setback, frontage, height, bulk, density, and other non-use matters will unreasonably prevent the owner from using the property for a permitted purpose or will render ordinance conformity unnecessary, burdensome. Board member comments?
I think we've demonstrated that some variance is required here in order for a house to be built.
Agreed, I believe it does apply in this case.
I agree.
It applies. Okay, item 2, the variance will do substantial justice to the applicant as well as other property owners.
Of course, it's gonna do injustice to the applicant. And it'd be consistent with what's around in that neighborhood.
Yeah, same as the other property owners with that side garage entry. Any other comments? Applies. Item 3, a lesser variance than requested will not give substantial relief to the applicant and will not be more consistent with justice to other property owners.
I think in this case, there is an opportunity for a lesser variance.
Agreed.
Adding, I think, whatever remains above and beyond that baseline dimension, I think should be a part of the rebuild.
Yeah,
Whatever that dimension may be, it may be a foot, maybe 3 feet,
foot to foot.
but in those particular instances, I think that's what should happen. But so, yeah, it applies.
It applies. I agree. Item 4, the need for the variance is due to the unique circumstances peculiar to the property and not generally acceptable in the area or to other properties in the same zoning district.
Well, the unique circumstances of the ordinance change. Is there something that's from that shape standpoint? No. I mean, the dimensions are what the dimensions are.
Any other comments? Item 5, the problem and resulting need for the variance has not been self-created by the applicant and/or the applicant's predecessors.
It applies. Obviously, the change to the ordinance put in this particular circumstance. So yeah, it applies.
So that applies. I'll take a motion based on the findings of fact, and we'll do the motion separately for each item.
Huh. I'm trying to figure out how to craft this one. Well, I got some sections.
She's got the, written. They're attached, she's usually written, the findings attached. So we just need to add.
If it's easier, we can do it individually.
We're gonna do individually. Does each, there's certain circumstances that apply to each one.
It'll make more sense, right? Okay.
All right, I'll give it a shot. In a matter of ZBA 2021-001 AB, I make a motion for 782 West Bay Shore, 04-21-101-119, Lot 20 of Westlake, Waterstone, based on a public hearing and public findings of fact, to approve a driveway setback of 1.95 feet and a driveway width of 18 feet. Further, the variance will not expire if a building permit is not obtained within 365 days of the issuance of a variance.
Second. Add something about making sure that there's a concrete curb in there, like he said he's gonna do it, can we, are we gonna take his word for it?
Given the distance, I don't know if there's any really choice but to do that. I If it grades off of it, he's gonna have to.
Yeah,
I don't know if I would impose it upon him, but
okay.
I'm one person.
It's not-
It makes sense though, channel the water and stuff like that.
So, do I want to amend my motion?
We don't have plans to approve, how can we tell them where his curb has to be? That falls under the purview of the planning commission. We're not looking at a site plan, we're just looking.
We're
at
just
the-
talking about a curb along the edge of the driveway,
I understand
not
that,
in front.
but that's something that our planner and our engineer would look at. That's,
Yeah, during their review, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And based on the variance, a motion. that we
but
have
there's
there.
already been a landscape curb gutter road plan approved by the planning commission for,
That's just for the
Yes.
roads, just for the roads. It wouldn't be for the lot itself, not for the driveway. That'd be reviewed as a part of the plot plan review that the building would submit. to the
the
building
site
permit.
plans I've seen include the driveways, the approaches, and where the gutters would be.
I don't think the planning commission approves plot plan approval. Site
No,
plans,
not-
yes.
Not individual, yes, but if it's part of the site plan, then it's supposed to happen when it's built.
And there's, you typically, when you have a subdivision, you don't have a plan, a site plan for a house. They're just lots.
Not for the individual homes, no.
It's a plot plan, which goes and is reviewed by the planning.
Right, and when I look at a site plan, it shows me where the lots are, and it tells me what's gonna happen with the driveways, and what the
Mhm.
curbing and guttering is gonna be.
Yep.
So we're going to alter a site plan that we haven't seen, is what I'm getting at. I get we can issue him a lesser variance than what he's requesting. But asking him to do more than what his site plan for that subdivision was approved. I'm not sure, I'm just
I
putting
mean,
it out there.
I'm just
We're all
thinking-
gonna get to vote, I'm just
Right,
saying,
well, we can place conditions on anything as this board, that we have the ability to do that. If that's a condition you choose to put, we can certainly do that.
As long as it's not detrimental to.
Right. As long as it's not detrimental. And But if it's very important to this body that issue is addressed, then that's what it shows, it's a condition. Now, a plot plan is something that's submitted with a building permit, and it's reviewed by the folks at the township. Now, the planner, the engineer, they review that. We certainly would not review it, nor would the planning commission.
I'm not sure I agree with that. Since I
Well,
sit
it's
on.
not in the
planning
motion
commission,
right now.
But that's.
We can discuss it out.
We don't have to agree on that point. That's
No,
what I'm
absolutely.
saying.
My motion stands as is.
All right.
Are there any other motions?
So we're not adding a requirement that he put a.
Stands as is.
curbing. Okay.
No?
Hold on,
I
I
need
need a second. Hang
clarification.
on.
Here's a second.
Who
I thought we
seconded?
were done.
Oh, you did, I'm sorry, you're right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so
Okay.
we're ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
No?
I'm not clear. You said as is, and then you said we need
Okay,
to add
so
the curb. So
the
we're adding
motion-
the curb or we're not?
Nope, the motion
No.
is
It's
to
for the-
approve a reduced side yard setback for a driveway of
1.9 feet.
1.9 feet.
Okay. And then the rest of
Rather
the
than
motion
4
stands
feet.
as it is.
Yes.
And the driveway apron width is going to be 18 feet rather than 25 required.
Correct.
That's the motion.
So if you're still asking me, I'll say yes.
Magley?
I just want to know what I'm voting on.
Yeah, no, it's,
Sorry.
Butler?
Yes.
Payne, yes. Walters?
yes.
Okay.
Okay, item, I guess we'll do 21 ZBA 002 AD.
Regard to 21 ZBA 002 AB 857 Pine Ridge Avenue, 0421 104012, Lot 37 of Westlake of Waterstone, based on a public hearing and findings of fact listed above, to approve a reduced driveway setback of 1.5 feet rather than 4 feet within a single-family residentially zoned district and to reduce side-loaded garage driveway apron width of 18 feet rather than 25 feet within a single-family residential zone district. Furthermore, the variance will not expire even if the building permit is not obtained within 365 days of the issuance of the variance.
Support.
I had a question on
Sure.
do we want to, that last statement expire? If a building permit is not
Will
obtained,
not.
360 will not
Will not.
expire.
Will not.
Okay. Do we want to put a time frame on it? Would you consider the time frame?
What would be the purpose of the timeframe? You didn't ask me for the
We
first
didn't
one.
want the first one.
Well, I didn't, yeah.
Didn't catch it.
Well, I just asked them. Well, you don't have to.
I would not put a timeframe on it. That's,
Okay, leave it
I think we
as the
should.
motion sets on the floor. Okay, I'm good with that. So we had a motion by James Butler and board member Craig second. Roll call for vote?
Magley,
Yes.
Butler,
yes.
Knopf,
Yes.
Kane, yes, Walters.
Yes. All right, so let's do 21 ZBA 003 AB.
In the matter of ZBA 21003AB 696 Pine Ridge Avenue, 04-21-105-018, Lot 59 of Westlake of Waterstone, based on a public hearing and findings of facts listed above, to approve a side yard driveway setback of 2.3 feet rather than the 4 foot required within the single-family residential zone district, and reduce the side yard garage apron of 18 feet rather than 25 feet required within the single-family residential zone district. Further, the variance will not expire even if the building permit is not obtained within 365 days of the issuance of the variance.
I'll second. Roll call?
Kane, yes, Butler,
Yes.
Magley,
Yes.
Knopf,
Yes.
Walters.
Yes. All right, item 21 ZBA 004 AB. What's next?
I'll make a motion to postpone action on this item.
Second.
Knopf,
Yes.
Excuse me,
oh,
so when you make a motion to postpone, you need a definite date and when you're gonna take it back up.
Definite date or time frame.
Date.
can we table instead of
You can
postpone?
table, it just means that you have to make a motion to take it off the table. You can table it indefinitely.
Thank you. So I need to withdraw my motion.
It was it?
It was support.
It was.
Supported?
Yeah.
Okay. So the motion on the table is withdrawn and supported.
So I need to make a motion
Now we need a motion. Yeah.
in matter of ZBA, or 21 ZBA 004 AB 972 Chelsea Boulevard, 04-21-03-004, Lot 67 of Westlake of Waterstone, to table this item.
So second it again.
Knopf,
Yes.
Kane, yes, Magley,
Yes.
Butler,
Yes.
Walters.
Yes. Item 21 ZBA 005 AB is the next item.
In the matter of 21 ZBA 005 AB 962 Chelsea Boulevard, 04-21-103-1005, Lot 68 of Westlake of Waterstone. I make a motion to table this.
Second.
Roll call?
Magley,
Yes.
Walters,
Yes.
Butler,
Yes.
Knopf,
Yes.
Kane, yes.
Okay, item 21 ZBA 006 AB is next.
In the matter of 21 ZBA 006 AB 940 Woodside Drive, 04-21-102-013, Lot 98 of Westlake of Waterstone, based on a public hearing and findings of fact listed above, to approve a side yard driveway setback of 3.5 feet rather than 4 feet, which is required within the single-family residential zoning district, And B, to reduce the side yard driveway apron of 18 feet rather than 25 feet as required within the single-family residential zoning district. Furthermore, the variance will not expire even if the building permit has not been obtained within 365 days of the issuance of the variance.
Do you have a second?
Second.
Discussion? Roll call?
Butler,
Yes.
Goff,
Yes.
Egley,
Yes.
Walters,
Yes.
Hany, yes.
Okay, next item is 21 ZBA 007 AB.
Mr. Chairman, I've got a question on this one because it's 90 feet wide. This is a lot that's 90 feet wide. Obviously, I believe those houses are a larger footprint. Having walked by them a zillion times in the last 18 years. So, may need some guidance from Mr. Monaco.
Yes.
Understand
Can I give you some?
what we can and can't do.
Deny it. I don't need it for that lot.
You got it! Sold! Wow, we're asking for it, I love it. Mr. Chairman, the matter of 21 ZBA 007 AG, 901 West Bay Shore, 04 21 301 001, lot 107 of Westlake of Waterstone. Based on the public hearing and finding of fact, we deny the variances.
Second.
So, Norris, you second?
Yes, please.
Roll call?
Hany, yes. Butler,
Yes.
Egley,
Yes.
Goff,
Yes.
Walters.
Yes. The next item is 21 ZBA 008.
In the matter of 21 ZBA 008 AB, 931 Woodside Drive, 0421 103 015, lot 78 of Westlake of Waterstone, based on a public hearing and findings of fact listed above, to approve a side yard driveway setback of 3.5 feet rather than the 4 feet required within a single-family residential zoning district, and to reduce the side loaded garage opening to a width of 18 feet.
Thank you.
Next item, any board member comments?
Well, it's good to get together again.
It's been a while.
It's been a while since we've done this. Folks, like to say thank you for you guys coming out
Yeah.
and giving your comments. You know, it's very, very helpful. It's hard decisions up here, and, you know, we judge and kind of balance things, but it's always good to hear
We
your comments.
appreciate your
Yes.
analysis.
I think, I just want to say thank you very much for your time and effort, because we all know how it is. Thank you for the compromise, and Carl, thank you. All the houses you build are beautiful.
Thank you.
So I do appreciate you, and I just want to say that, so.
Especially when reality goes up with the new sub, right?
I'm excited.
You know,
Thank you so much.
I have, I think 22 lake lots, and every one of them is gone, mostly from people living in your.
I know,
so
I know.
It's a really nice job.
Good for you.
It's gonna be
Yes.
beautiful.
I'm excited. Thank you very much. It is going to be beautiful. Jillian.
A motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call? Roll call. All in favor?
Aye.
I
Opposed?
just want to tell you.
Really need, you do.
You only need roll call when you're on.